All right. So today, right now, we're gonna be checking out the checking out the state of play that came out, I think, a couple days ago at this point. It's been a minute, but I've been meaning to look forward to this. I've been keeping away from my or my subscription feed on YouTube because I follow channels like IGN, Game Informer, and things like that, and they tend to post like a lot of trailers. So I've intentionally tried to keep myself away from that to try to avoid any spoilers. So a lot of the stuff in this trailer will be me seeing it for the first time. I do know there's a couple of games that were announced, and at the risk of spoiling it for you guys, I know that well, not announced, but they showcased some. I think they had a trailer for Street Fighter 6, and I think that they announced Resident Evil 4 Remake. Personally, I don't think Resident Evil 4 needs a remake, but whatever. I prefer to see a Code Veronica remake personally, but it's whatever. But let's go ahead and check this out, see what it has to offer, and I'll give you my opinions about it afterwards. Can everybody hear it? Hello. Hopefully you can hear. State of play. Oh, Resident Evil. Oh, there it is. What's up, Pinch Nugget?
I've located Baby Eagle.
Like I said, I just don't think this game needs a remake. Give us the Code Veronica.
Guess you, me, picked the wrong spot to vacation, eh?
You will receive our most sacred body. It begins now.
I mean, not that the game is bad or anything, and I don't want to see it like get some type of acknowledgement, but I feel like Resident Evil 4, of all the Resident Evils, still holds up.
Pain. Even for a second.
Like a remake isn't necessary.
It can be different.
There are older Resident Evils that could definitely go for a remake, like Resident Evil 0, Code Veronica. Did they ever remake Resident Evil 1? I mean, besides the one on GameCube. Maybe a Resident Evil 1 that's done in the style of Resident Evil 2 remake. I think that would be great.
State of Play returns, and we've got some great PlayStation updates to share with you today. And thanks to Capcom for kicking it off with Resident Evil 4, coming to PS5 with PlayStation VR2 content also in development. Now let's get a sneak peek at 4 games in development for PlayStation VR2.
PlayStation VR2.
Now, let's take a look at him. Wow.
The things people are going to do in VR with this
You
game.
escaped my little brother's
Oh, boy.
games, did you? Let's see how special you are.
Yes, Mother.
As your president, there goes your Secretary of State right there. That's my Secretary of State. I've chosen her. I look forward to working under her. I mean, working with her.
Man blood. Oh, be careful what you wish for, Ethan Winters.
It's funny. They know how popular she is too, because this whole trailer is dedicated to like that portion of the game, despite the fact that this only represents like 20% of the game. That whole trailer was dedicated to the Castle Dimitrescu, even though Castle Dimitrescu is only 20% of the game. That's so funny.
You, of all people, have the audacity to question me? You, who emerged from the putrid waters of the bayou to plunder our righteous gains and cut our throats like a demon in the night. What have
Is
you
that
done
Walking
to
Dead
ensure
game?
the future of this forsaken city?
Walking Dead Sins and Sinners.
You, who have brought nothing but chaos. When death was swallowing this city whole, it was I who resurrected it. It was I who shined as a beacon of hope for all. The tower cries out for blood, and I vow to spare it.
No, he did.
When the bells ring, the song they sing will be righteous.
Okay, so this Sins and Sinners.
Welcome home,
A sequel.
tourist.
I'm guessing this is No Man's Sky. I have played No Man's Sky on VR. It is amazing. No Man's Sky for VR is really good. Like that game, the experience completely changes when you do it in VR.
There. Where are you taking me?
I don't know what this is, but it's very colorful. Oh,
I asked you a question.
so this is a VR version
Reyes is a good shot.
of
Yeah, and I'll put arrows through
what the hell's the
both
name of
of us.
that game?
You're switching with me.
Horizon.
It's a snap mob. We're not gonna make it.
A VR Horizon.
Blameless Murad had me released from.
Hey, see you later, Alicia.
But why? Redemption is still possible, Reyes.
Hope everything's good.
Climb the mountain. Find out why the machines are attacking. Do that, and you shall be a free man. It will take all your wits, your skills, and courage. You have walked in the shadows, Reyes. Now it is time to climb into the light.
The only downside with VR games is a lot of times they tend to be very on rails and handholdy. That's the only
Hi,
downside.
I'm Ben
I tend to have
McCaw,
with
narrative
VR.
director at Gorilla. I hope you enjoyed your first look at Horizon Call of the Mountain, coming exclusively to PlayStation VR 2. We're also happy to announce that a big update to Horizon Forbidden West, including New Game Plus, will be available to download on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 today.
Interesting. I haven't played the second Horizon yet. I haven't completed the first Horizon.
For details on this free update, please check out PlayStation Blog. From all of us at Guerrilla, thank you for your continued support, and please stay tuned for more updates to come.
Get ready, a PlayStation fan favorite is coming to PC.
I wouldn't call VR overrated. I love VR personally. Only downside is you need space in order to properly do it.
You have to be the
and you need to condition yourself to not get motion sick. Those are the only two things that really hold VR back.
You are everything that's wrong with this city!
I'm gonna go,
Do your thing.
You can't just push people around like that.
Just ask for help next time.
Time to bring back the glory days.
Did you just leave your clothes on?
It's already getting remastered. It's already getting remastered. Wow. This is that game they showcased a number of years ago. I think it's called Stray. That's interesting. Wow. A game where you can be as cute as you want to be.
Explore a mysterious cyber city in Stray, coming to PS5 and PS4 July 19th. PlayStation Plus Extra members and higher can
You never
download
truly
Stray
escape
at no
Eunice.
extra cost when it launches next month. Up next, 3 games that will get your heart racing.
Take a look outside. Did you know that they call Callisto the dead moon? Dead. Just like you would have been if I hadn't fished you out of that wreck. So whatever you're holding on to right there.
I heard about that story, Steven.
Your old life. You gotta let that go. Because your new life is entirely in my hands.
Pop that boy's head like a watermelon.
I'm just trying to give you a chance at rebirth.
It's like Dead Space.
just love that last part. Gives me chills every time.
Ooh. Callisto Protocol. See more of Black Myth gang. Yeah, they haven't really said too much about it. What is this? Simpsons?
In the year 2030,
It's a remake to that GTA Simpsons game.
sport grips the globe. And in the arena, there will only be the victorious and the dead.
Wow. It's like extreme roller derby. I don't get it. Seems like if the enemies wanted to stop you, all they gotta do is stop putting ramps and half pipes in their damn base. And if they just got rid of half pipes and ramps, you just instantly wouldn't have anything to do.
Will ever be normal again?
I'm hearing RPG. It sounds like an RPG. Oh boy.
The world hasn't ended yet. It's not hopeless. I won't let anyone else get hurt!
Don't you want science in your corner?
Very cyberpunky.
Ew! I'm going to miss them.
I look forward to seeing what you can do.
Reminds me a lot of Persona. Doesn't have the Persona art style though, so I don't think it's exactly Persona. Maybe it's the people that made Shin Megami Tensei. Eternights. That's kind of weird. Eternights. Bring on the weebs.
Action games and dating sims collide in Eternights, coming to PS5 and PS4 next year. Let's check back in with Capcom for a new look at an upcoming heavy hitter.
Here we go. I think this is Street Fighter 6. Yes, sir.
When you go looking for strength, it's not like a game. This journey doesn't have a real ending. Okay then, hope you're ready to begin. If you want to start off on the right foot in this city, hit the streets.
Yeah, hey there, I do this. Never fear losing. And when I get up in the game, your RP improve. A real problem, but I solve them all face proof.
Is that Mike Hager?
Yeah, y'all wanna win, let me spin, boy. Or dunks aside, I'm super fly like I'm hanging off the rim, boy. I've been winning for my kids.
Looks like they're putting a lot more of the street in Street Fighter.
Fight!
Chun-Li. It's like they mixed her regular Street Fighter and her Street Fighter Alpha attires together. Look at Ryu. Chun-Li got that ancient master vibe to her.
Let me have some fun.
Ready? Then show me.
This will be a good fight.
This looks nice. Ooh. I mean, this is a Street Fighter game. You know they're going to have like a dozen different costumes and attires for each fighter.
This is our destiny. My secret art.
Oh, I love it. That looks nice. I'm not huge into fighting games because I tend to get my ass kicked in. But that was nice. That looked good. I'm gonna have to pick that bad boy up.
That was your first look at Street Fighter 6 gameplay. Mark your calendars, it comes to PS5 and PS4 in 2023.
Well,
now it's time for 2 indie adventures arriving later this year.
Fighting games seem limited to people that don't play them on a competitive level. It's like people talk about sports games and say like, oh, well, it's the same game over and over again. If you play those games a lot, you'll see the differences, and those differences are significant, even if it's something as small as an animation change or the ability to cancel an animation or something like that, something small. For fighting game fans, just changing frame rates or frame counts on certain moves can significantly change the game. A character being given a new signature move or a new combo string could be enough to change the balance in the game.
She set out to record life at the end of this season.
To make it real for people in the future. She asked us about living together.
That's a lot of hair on that
We
old lady.
asked her about traveling alone.
I was about to say something, but you know what? I'm gonna stop.
When the season turns,
My mind was going to weird places.
Only what she saw, what she captured.
She carries the sounds of the season with her. The way she listened made
I mean, I would like to see Street Fighter jump more into its
I got to look in her journal.
what was I about to say?
The world was.
I would like to see Street Fighter jump more into its
I think.
story mode
Figured out.
and
what will
expand on
happen
it
to
more.
us
Because
when
Street Fighter
season
story is
ends.
kind of bare bones.
Is it going?
But at the same time, most people that
Is it
play Street
fun?
Fighter tend to do it for the online play.
not yet.
A letter to the future.
Final Fantasy 世界中のゲーマーの皆さんこんにちは。ファイナルファンタジー16プロデューサーの
Final
吉田
Fantasy
です。
16.
長らくお待たせいたしましたが、
I'm actually
いよいよ
not looking forward to
Final
Final Fantasy
の最
16.
新情報をお届けする日がやってまい
To
り
me,
ま
it's
した。
like they saw the success of Final
トレーラ
Fantasy
ーとともにイン
14
タビューなど
and,
も始まりますの
and
で、
built on it. I'm
ぜ
not
ひそちら
a
もお
fan
楽
of
し
Final
みに
Fantasy 14,
お待ちく
so
だ
it's
さい。
like
今
16
世界
doesn't
には
really
本当に様々な
do
困
it
難
for
があ
me
り
as
ま
of
す。
right now.
僕らゲーム開発者にはゲームを一生懸命作るということしかできません。ゲームというエンターテインメントを通じてゲーマーの皆さんが心の底から楽しめる時間を提供していきたいと思ってます。それでは最新のトレーラーを
I mean, I like to see Street Fighter, at least like a majority of the story, take place on the streets, like kind of like the Street Fighter 2 animated movie. You pick a character, and you just go from like to different areas and challenge that fighter.
Who are we? What are the dominants? The power we wield. It wears away at our very being. It breaks us. It unmakes us. But its immaculate aspect might reveal itself. The icon.
There's going to be another war, isn't there?
Every day we delay brings us closer to disaster. We must move now.
The game straight up action RPG.
The chaos he would wreak would sweep all of Valor.
I mean, it seems like it's even more action RPG than 15 and 7 Remake.
I unite the dominants, that we may bring an end to the strife, and found a new order to see us unto tomorrow.
If I take the field, our duel will shake the island.
Game's a lot more mature than other Final Fantasies, it seems. Let's say 330,000.
There will be losses, it is true. Yet for every citizen who falls, another can be bred. For every home that burns, another can be built. The Empire will live on.
Seems like they're really focusing heavy on the summons. Or is it each party member is a summon? Kind of like Final Fantasy VI and Espers. I'm wondering.
Awaken, child of fate. Awaken, Ifrit.
It was pronounced Ifrit. I pronounced it, well, when I was younger, I called him Ifrit, but I think it was Ifrit. Now it's Ifrit.
And that's a wrap. Don't forget to visit PlayStation Blog to learn even more about today's announcements. See you next time.
See, the thing that makes me kind of iffy. Looks like that's it. See, the thing that makes it kind of iffy for me when it comes to go back to the camera. The thing that makes it iffy for me in regards to Final Fantasy 16 is the fact that the character, or at least the party members that I've seen so far, they don't have like this distinct look to each of them. They're just like people wearing armor, and the armor may be somewhat different, but there's not that level of variety. That's one of the things I like most about Final Fantasy games is the party members look so dramatically different. That's one of the reasons why I wasn't really a fan of Final Fantasy 15, because everybody was essentially the same. Like I like Final Fantasy games with a large selection of party members that you have to that you can customize. And I want each character to have like distinct personalities, distinct looks and feels. That's what makes it great to me. And one of the reasons why I'm not really a fan of the castle-themed Final Fantasy games, the dragons, castles, knights, and kings, themes that some of the Final Fantasy games take is because it loses some of that uniqueness. My favorite Final Fantasies are 7, 9, 10. I mean, 9 has that theme too, but I think the characters in 9 are so great that it kind of gets past that. But 7 and 10 in particular, those games are very different. And one of the reasons why I like them so much is because of how different they are. Back in the day, everybody was doing the Knights Kingdoms theme. Like all RPGs were doing that just about. But then Final Fantasy VII came out with this cyberpunk style to it. Not cyberpunk, more like steampunk. Cyber steampunk, whatever the hell you want to call it. Something like that. It had that theme to it. Final Fantasy X had this like tropical type of theme to it. Knights of Arcadia had a unique look to it. Like those are like some of my favorite games because they step so far outside of the traditional RPG realm. Well, it's not really Yuna's Aeons. I guess technically it is, but those summons are from like every single Final Fantasy game. They're like a consistent trope that each game has. Now, I did see one of them called like Garuda or something like that. That's a new summon. I don't think we've seen that one before. But I'm wondering if each character in Final Fantasy 16 like is a summon. Because it seems they're focusing so hard on summons to the point where they're like name dropping them in a trailer. I'm thinking maybe you're playing like as Ifrit. You're playing as Bahamut. You're playing as Shiva and all these other characters. Like they have a human form, then they have their summon form. At least it wasn't a card game with Castlevania music again. Final Fantasy was always was a huge lie. Technically, it was. Well, technically, Final Fantasy didn't become a lie until Final Fantasy X-2. Because each Final Fantasy game is its own distinct story in its own distinct world. Technically, those are all Final Fantasies because that's the last time we saw those worlds. Final Fantasy X-2 was the first one to break that by jumping back into that world. So it's like, okay, then you fucking lied.